What is up, guys? It's your boy Andy Arts, and today we are going to talk about 7 reasons why art school is not for everybody. And while I draw some poses, we're going to go ahead and get into this. Okay, out of high school, once I finished high school, I've actually thought about going to an animation school, and thank God that I didn't, because it turns out that my plans were different, and it turns out that I will be absolutely no good for the job. And that is just something that we have to be honest about. Okay, so before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Okay, I make art videos, I make tech videos. Okay, I review tech products for artists and stuff. And yeah, I make tutorials, drawing videos, art videos. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So starting with reason number one as to why art school is not for everybody, might not be for you, is that the learning is much slower. Okay, so as I said, I was going to go to an animation school, but then I settled for going to a community college, right? And in community college is obviously is much cheaper, is cheaper education. You got to do what you got to do. You got to take what you can afford, right? And the art classes that I took in community college, turns out that they are not much different, because some of my art teachers in community college, they also taught at like higher level education schools, quote unquote, and it's just much slower. And if you are a fast learner, if you learn at the speed of light, like I do, if you're a little impatient, then it might not be for you, because some people, they don't want to sit there with an easel. Some people, they just learn much faster. They know what they have to. They know what they have to do. If you have that sense of independence, if you're more independent, this just might not be for you. So yeah, so the reason number one is the learning is much slower in art schools. Number two is you probably won't improve in 1 semester or 2 semester unless you're practicing in your own free time. Look, art is not something that you just go to college and then you go to art school and then you get a degree and then you become a great artist. No, that's not how you become a great artist. So school is not going to make you a great artist. You have to make yourself a great artist, right? So the problem is that your art teacher is going to teach you things, but you have to put in the work, and it takes hours, hundreds of hours to improve at something, to get good at something, whether if it's painting, drawing, whatever, right? If you go to art school, it's not like let's say, for example, you go to, I don't know, business school or like a legal school or nursing school. They teach you what you got to learn, and then at the end you kind of just learn it as long as you pass the test and you're able to get a job, right? That's how most college systems work. With art, it is not like that. You need to put in the time. You need to learn the techniques. You have to build a portfolio. You got to study anatomy. You got to study painting. You got to study color. You got to study theory, lighting, all that stuff. And that is not something that you can just, that your teacher can embed into your mind. Like you really have to put in the labor to learn. And this is why a lot of people can become really good at art without going to school, because they have the discipline to sit down and learn all these things by themselves. As a matter of fact, we all know of that one kid in high school that could draw really good, and he never went to college, right? We all know that guy. So you don't need school to become really good, right? So you're not gonna improve your art skills in 1 year or 2 years, just by going to college. College is not, your college teachers are not going to necessarily help you improve. As a matter of fact, they might slow you down because a lot of these teachers and the schools are years behind, which leads me to number three. Okay, so reason number three is colleges and universities tend to be about 5 years behind. And the reason why I know this is because when I went to school and we were using Photoshop, like a lot of schools, they are like, not everything. They're usually up to date with technology, right? They're usually up to date with technology. It depends on the school and if they invest into their equipment, but they tend to be late in a lot of things, right? So like, for example, when I was in college, back in 2010, 2011, 2012, I already knew about search engine optimization. I already knew about all that stuff. So before there was a digital marketing degree in college, I already knew all about that. So I just want to put that out there. So they tend to be years behind. That's reason number 3. And then reason number 4 is you can learn most of these things online at a much lower cost and actually much faster, usually with better teachers, right? The great thing about learning online is that it's focused learning, right? You want to learn anatomy, you focus on anatomy, right? You want to learn coloring, you focus on coloring. It's very focused. The problem is that if you do not have that independent mindset, if you are unable to sit down like an introvert and just, take the pen and paper and just write draw for hours, paint for hours by yourself with a tutorial on your computer, a video tutorial, then you might actually need to go to school. Because the thing about school is that you do have a professor. If you're more extroverted, then I guess art school is more for you. But if not, if you have the independent mentality and you can sit down and have the discipline to just sit down and practice for hours, then art school, it's not for you. Reason number 5. Why go to an art school and get thousands of dollars in student loan debt? I mean, we all know about the student loan debt crisis. And honestly, when it comes to art, the problem with art is that there's no real secure job. Like, you can become a graphic designer without going to college, right? You can build a portfolio by yourself and get hired without going to college, right? And it's just not worth it getting into $30,000, $50,000 in student loan debt, and then getting out of school, and then having to pay that, work at Starbucks, having to pay that, and still looking for a job. As opposed to other careers, let's say an accountant can find a job right outside of college anywhere, right? But that's different. It's math. It's very calculating. So careers like an accountant, one of those desk jobs, is very different than an art job, right? Even if you're going for something like animation, 3D modeling, it's in the art world. There is no job is ever guaranteed. And when you work for a company, is by project, is very project based. So once the project is over, you're out, buddy. So do not get into student loan debt for an art degree. Reason number 6. Many times they teach you things that are irrelevant. So this goes back to kind of like what I said in number 1, number 2, is that they're slower. They're years behind. And I remember one of my teachers, I took an illustration class, and they were teaching us things from the 1980s, right? Things that we did not need to learn because it was not required for the jobs that we were trying to apply to, right? But our teacher decided it was a great idea to teach us, illustration from the 1980s, when we no longer use any of those machines, right? Everything is digital now, but he didn't care about that. Nope, you're gonna do it the good old way. And it's okay to learn the old-fashioned way, as long as you're prioritizing what will currently get you hired now. So yeah, a lot of the things that they teach you is irrelevant. I mean, you've seen all those college courses, what is required to graduate. A lot of times you have to take classes that have absolutely nothing to do with your degree, and that's it. It boggles my mind, and I think it's just something that colleges do to keep you in school for as long as possible and get your moolah. Reason number 7, final reason, is it might not be part of your plans. Look, especially if you want to go to art school, most of the time, whether if it's graphic design, animation, all of that, a lot of those things are project-based. A lot of those jobs are project-based, and once the project's over, you're out, right? So going to school might not be part of your plans. You really have to think about what is it that you want to do, because if your goal is to be a comic book artist, you don't need to go to school. If you want to have your own type of art business, if you're an art entrepreneur, if you want to sell merchandise, t-shirts, keychains, things like that, painting, you don't need that. You can do that. You can actually build your own audience on the internet And yeah, you can build your own audience on the internet. And many people have done it. Hundreds, thousands of people have done it on the internet. So you don't have to go to school for it. You really have to think about, what is it that I want to do? How am I gonna make money? And if especially now with modern day technology and how fast things are moving, it's the art school has become irrelevant. And as a matter of fact, I've seen many of them are closing down. So you can Google that on your own and then come back to me and comment below. But yeah, it's just art school just might not be part of your plans. It all depends on what you want to do, because most of the times we just want to go to school to show our parents that we're doing good in life, and to show our friends, our family, that we're doing something with our lives, and we don't want to be embarrassed. So yeah, keep that in mind. And that's gonna be it for this video. I hope these 7 reasons were helpful. Maybe you resonated with some of these, maybe you didn't, maybe you disagree. Either way, please comment below and tell me what your thoughts are. I would love to hear them. And this is your boy Andy Art Studios. Comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Godspeed.